A member of Therapy Growth Group told me the other day that when she first set up in private practice, she spent 6 months without any clients. Now she's grown to 4, and she shared that what's made a real difference has been her mindset. She's moved away from that discomfort of thinking she's selling, and that was holding her back. This episode is all about making a similar shift so that you feel comfortable sharing your practice with potential clients. Welcome to Good Enough Counsellors, the podcast for growing a private practice without the pressure to be perfect. I'm Josephine Hughes, counsellor and creator of Therapy Growth Group, helping you get the clients you want and create the practice of your dreams. The other day I had a moment of clarity with my own therapist. What I was saying was, I really wonder sometimes if I'm a narcissist, because so much of what I seem to be doing on my social media and in my podcasting is all about getting people to pay attention to me. And as I said it, I also had a moment where the truth really emerged. And that was that my next sentence was, but I really want to make a difference. I really want to help people. And when I heard myself say this, the fear of making it all about me fell away, because actually what I was doing was getting to my core purpose, to my core motivation. And yes, while it's nice to get people following you and liking what you're doing and telling you that you're doing something valuable, in fact, what I'm really trying to do is help you connect with clients so that clients get the therapy that they need. And in that way, I think I can really make a difference to the world. So that's actually what this is all about. It's not about my need to be liked. But sometimes I think we can get so caught up in that mindset of thinking it's all about me. It's all about what I'm doing. And we can get caught up in that mindset of thinking, I'm just pushing this. I'm just doing this because I'm trying to sell my services. I'm just doing this because I want to earn an income. And we forget the deeper purpose of what we're actually doing, and actually why we embarked on this journey in the first place, which I think, like me, you'll agree, is to make a difference to the world and to help people. So let's get back to that particular mind shift. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit more about helping you to do that, especially in relation to anything you might be putting out on social media, or indeed if you blog or you're doing videos, how to really get back to the heart of what you're doing so that your output flows from that place. And while it's helpful to acknowledge that we all need love and belonging, sometimes it's also helpful to get back into the real purpose of what we're doing, because that can make us resilient during those times when perhaps some people don't like what we're putting out on social media or in our blogs or our videos. Because if we're aware of our inner why, that can really help us to be resilient in the face of any criticism. I'm aware that it's December, so I don't want to talk for too long in this episode. Obviously, at the end of the first section, I'm going to add some things about ideas for social media in January. If you're not on social media, you could turn off at that point. But really, what I'd really like to do in this first part is to get you to think about your purpose and mission, so that you feel easier sharing online or in all the places where you might be when you're actually thinking about how to reach out to potential clients. Now, I'm aware that you're probably reaching the end of your tether. It's December. It's a really busy time of year. Probably been working for a few months now without a break. So I don't want to put you under any pressure to plan anything or overhaul anything. It's just a moment, really, to just pause and reflect, because sometimes that's actually what we need. So what I'd really like to ask you at this question, and this is something for you to think about, is what do you want to be known for? What is your core purpose? What is it that you want to do in the world? Now, when you can answer that question, it helps you to reduce the overwhelm and to filter out the noise. Because when you focus on the thing that really matters to you, you don't need to think about all these other things that you could be talking about and that you could be sharing. You can simply just think, yes, this is what's important to me. This is what I want to be known for. And I've been recently having a long conversation with myself about my social media and what I want to do with it and who I am as a person, because I've realised that I'm not somebody who knows a lot, say, about popular culture. And sometimes that can make you a really successful person on social media. If you've got your finger on the pulse, you can just share and you can appeal to people because that's just you. But I hate to say it, but I've realised it's not really me, and I can't really force myself into that mould. But even this morning, I've done a post on something that I really care about. I'm recording this on White Ribbon Day in November, and I did a post this morning. I don't think it's going to reach hundreds of people. Well, it's reached a few hundred, but, we probably won't reach thousands of people because it is quite a difficult subject, but it's something I really care about. So I really felt energised when I shared my post. I really wanted to say something about it. And it was so easy to do that post because I knew it's something I cared about. It's something I've got lots to say about, the idea of violence against women and girls. So it was really straightforward for me to do. So if you know what's important to you, it can really help you focus on what you want to say. It keeps your marketing aligned with your values, with who you are. There's no point talking about celebrity traitors, for example. I know lots of you loved it. That's fantastic. But I watched the first episode because I'd heard many people talking about it. And while it was amusing and interesting, I just thought, you know what? This isn't really for me. I just can't be asked to watch all the other episodes. I'm sorry. That's just me. There's no point me pretending to be otherwise because it just becomes this huge treadmill that I have to climb. It's just like, no, I can just let that go because that's not me. But things like transgender issues, things like violence against women and girls, things like, trying to reach more equality for people, those are subjects that I really care about. That's me. Those are my values. That's what I'm going to share about. And that's okay. I will attract those people who care about those things too. And the thing is, when you know what you would like to be known for, it makes it so much simpler for you to decide what you'd like to post. And so it'll make your January content so much easier to organise. The thing is when you know what matters to you and you're talking about what matters to you. This whole thing about the algorithm and trying to chase down what people are doing and trying to copy other people and looking and comparing, all those things that we can end up doing when we're thinking about social media. If you know what you want to talk about, you can let go of that. Blimey, what a relief to no longer be anxious and worrying about what other people are doing or about how the algorithm works. You can just simply put out what matters to you and you'll begin to attract people that it matters to them as well. And often the fact is it's just like we are with clients. A lot of what we do with clients is helping them come back to themselves. It's helping them know what's important to them. It's helping them know what their values are and living according to their values. And so this particular episode is just an invitation to you to just pause, reflect and come back to what is important to you. So here's 3 questions. You don't have to answer these straight away, but you might like to come back to them over the holidays and just sort of think, yeah, what's the answer to this? What's this for me? So the first question is, what quality or feeling do you hope people associate with you when they land on your page? Now, one of the things that always really encourages me is when people come and join my Good Enough Counsellors Facebook group. Many of them will say this has so much more of a gentle vibe than many of the other Facebook groups for therapists out there. And that's what I really want. I want people to feel accepted, to feel understood, to feel less alone, less isolated, and to know that this isn't a place where they're going to be shamed. That's the sort of vibe I want to give people. What's the vibe that you would like to give people? And the second question to ask yourself is, what's one message, just one message, you'd love a potential client to understand because of your content? And I think if it was me, the answer to that is that we're all human. We all make mistakes, and that's okay. Hopefully you get that from my content, because that's really one of my core messages. And then the third part is, what part of your work feels most meaningful or energizing to you right now? What really lights you up? Because if you can answer that sort of question, that will often lead you so much into what you're going to write about. And it's something that I use often when I'm helping people to think about their niche and who they want to serve. You know, what part of your work really lights you up? And something I do in Therapy Growth Group is I will take people down this path that people often come on to the coaching calls, and we'll discuss it together and we'll see what's coming up from people. And we can move, as I did yesterday with someone, from, yes, I work with childhood trauma, to thinking, but I don't want to do all my work with childhood trauma because that's very heavy, to sort of thinking, what sort of people are you actually serving, and realising that it's probably people pleasers. So, you know, I can help you go through this process of working out who it is who really lights you up. And that's something that can help you when you're trying to reach out to people, whether it be through your profile, your social media, your blogs, when you introduce yourself at a networking session. Knowing who it is and what sort of work lights you up is a really important jigsaw piece for your private practice marketing. So these questions are something that would really bear some in-depth reflection. So maybe think about that over the Christmas period. And I'd just like to say at this point that I am going to be running a little email course. It's a free gift to you over Christmas. I will put the link into the show notes. You can sign up for that, and then in between Christmas and the New Year, I'll send you out 3 or 4 emails to help you with your marketing, just little things that you can think about, reflect on, and put into action. If you'd like to sign up for that, just take a quick look at the show notes where I will put the link. So, how does this help your January content? It helps you to choose posts that match your deeper message. It helps you if you're thinking to yourself, I really don't know what I'm going to say. It's going to make the new year feel less like you're starting from scratch. And it's going to give you a simple anchor for your social media posts for the month. So, for example, if you want to be known that you are a warm person, you might want to do a post about reassuring people. If you want to be known for your clarity and for helping people see what the matter is, you could do some simple explainer type posts. And if you want to be seen for accepting people, you could write something that's inclusive, perhaps towards marginalised communities. So knowing the answers to those questions might really help you with your content. And now we're going to move on and think about the ideas that you could use for January. And if you'd like to go back a whole year, you can go back to the December 2024 edition of the podcast. Just scroll down in your feed, you'll be able to find it, and there's ideas there. But let's acknowledge that January is that time where some people are just full of energy and think, yes, I'm going to bring in all these New Year's resolutions. Others might be feeling, Christmas has been a lot. And you've got those sort of dark, gloomy months, and you might be thinking about all these things that you'd like to change, and it just feels completely overwhelming. You might feel like that as a therapist. So let's not overwhelm you with ideas. Let's do some simple things. But obviously, if they are thinking about the new year, new you type things, that's something you can address, whether or not you want to talk to people about the changes they could make. So perhaps if you're someone who works with substance abuse, you might come in because this is a good point, isn't it, where people are thinking about change, and you might want to take them along this path of being able to finally kick that habit. Or it might be that you want to come in with a more compassionate viewpoint and talk about, how we can place all sorts of expectations on ourselves and how easily New Year's resolutions can fail. And on January the 17th, it's actually Ditch the New Year Resolutions Day. So that might be a day where you can talk about that sort of stuff. So it's really thinking about what you want to get across in your social media as to how you could use this idea of the new year. It is actually as well Self-Love Month. So that's a lovely theme to bring in, especially if we're thinking about those dark days, and you could talk about making sure you get enough light. It's also the Festival of Sleep Day on the 3rd of January. So that'd be a great start to your social media, talking about how to look after yourself and get more sleep. So you can talk about things like boundaries, if that's something that you cover, if maybe you do work with people pleasers, how therapy can help people build a kinder relationship with themselves. Talking of relationships, obviously, often there can be couples counselling to be doing, or people might have broken up over the Christmas period. So another opportunity for you to talk about how you can help people and how therapy makes a difference to people when they're struggling with their relationships. And finally, it's Parent Mental Health Day on the 30th of January, so winding up at the end of the month. So if you're somebody who works with parents, that might be something that you can do, Parent Mental Health Day on the 30th. So what I'd really love you to do is to think about one theme. You don't have to cover everything. Think about what you want to be known for and choose one January theme that aligns with that. Think about those reflection prompts that I've given you. Maybe go back and journal over them at some point over the break. I've tried to keep this episode short because I know that if you're anything like me, you'll probably be quite busy at the moment. So let's just have a gentle close to the episode. What I'd really love to remind you to do is notice the small moments during this busy period and also during the holidays that really show you what's important to you. Moments that help you to reconnect to yourself and what it is you're trying to do with your practice. Take time to rest. Often what happens is that we get so overwhelmed with social media and we get onto this sort of social media treadmill where we're thinking, I've got to do the next post, I've got to do the next post. And it just goes on and on and on. And actually sometimes what can help is to take a step away for a while and just give yourself a moment or several moments, several days or weeks to actually gain that sense of perspective. And actually, the Christmas period is a great time to do it. As I said, I'm recording this on White Ribbon Day, which is what day is it today? The 25th of November. But I've actually seen a therapist saying, I'm going to be taking a break over Christmas. And she's already put that message out there on her social media. So this is a great time where you can say, I am taking a break from social media. This is when I'm going to be back. Take a break and allow what's important to you to emerge. When you rest, it's amazing how often that sense of perspective arises and the ideas come to you and what you really want emerges. Remember that I am doing this special Christmas gift for you to help you with your private practice. I'm going to publish these emails over Christmas. You don't actually have to do anything with them. You could wait until January if you like. But if you'd like to sign up for that, just take a look at the show notes and I will put the link towards the top so you can see it. And I'm looking forward to bringing you a self-help episode at the beginning of the new year. But next week, I'll be back with our end of year program. Thanks so much for listening and I will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Do come and join my Facebook community, Good Enough Counsellors. And for more information about how I can help you develop your private practice, please visit my website, josephinehughes.com. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love it if you could share it with a fellow therapist or leave a review on your podcast app. And in closing, I'd love to remind you that every single step you make gets you closer to your dream. I really believe you can do it.